Hello again, time for a new video. We are still in the tournament London Chess Classic, and we are going to request a computer analysis here by Stockfish17. So let's see where this is the London Chess Classic that Magnus won. He lost one game against Luke McShane, we saw, who got second together with Anand, and also Nakamura and Vladimir Kramnik played good tournaments. Especially Nigel Short did a very bad tournament, and I guess this was kind of like the tournament that dropped him out of like 2700, and I haven't seen him play much after this tournament, but like I think it was it 93 or something like that, he played a World Championship match against Kasparov, so he was a very strong player like 15 years ago from this is 2010, so he was a very strong tournament, but obviously now it wasn't so good. And we can see here Carlsen is used number 2 on FIDE rating, Anand is number 1, Kramnik is number 3 of course. Anand is the current world champion, but after this one Magnus should surpass Anand in the ratings again. We saw the game Magnus lost against Luke McShane, and now we're going to look at the game Magnus won against Hikaru Nakamura. Nakamura, he is a very good player, but he never did very good in the FIDE candidates tournament. He played candidate tournament several times, and he had a decent chance actually in the last candidate. Now I think it was 4 years ago. In the candidate tournament, when Magnus had said, "I won't." The thing was like this: that Magnus had said, "Maybe I won't keep my world championship title," and then it was very important to get second also because, like first 2 places. Ian Nepomniachtchi won that tournament, and the fight for the second place was very, very close. And I think it was something like that. If Nakamura had won the last game there, he would have qualified instead of Ding Liren, who won it. And because, as it will be clear in the matches that we see where we analyze Jan Nepomniachtchi, that he's a very bad match player. He can't handle the pressure of the World Championship match. He played absolutely horrible in both matches against Magnus. He played Magnus 2 matches, I think, and he played horrible, like so many tactical basic mistakes. So it was a cakewalk for Magnus, those matches. And then he also played really bad against Ding, so it was also easy for Ding to defeat him. So he doesn't have the nerves to play World Championship matches. But I think because Ding hasn't been playing good at all after he got World Championship, so I think if Nakamura would have qualified and got to play Ding in the World Championship match, then I think Nakamura would have defeated him, because Nakamura is a very solid player. He very good defensive player and often gets draws, and he plays the same line. He always plays Queen's Gambit with black, and he is at least nowadays he's a very safe, solid player. But here he's 3 years older than Magnus, so Magnus is 20 now and Nakamura is 23, and as we see here, Nakamura is playing the Dutch defense, but he's not playing such dangerous opening nowadays. Maybe after 2015 he got a very, very solid player, just repeating his main theoretical lines, and which we can see also when he plays the Speed Chess Championship on Chess.com. It's a Blitz tournament on Chess.com, and Magnus and Hikaru used to go to the final, and Magnus always wins in the final, but that Hikaru is probably the second best blitz player in the world after Magnus, and there Hikaru he keeps repeating his lines, so he's very principial player. And Hikaru is also a famous streamer. He has YouTube and on Twitch, and he in Title Tuesday, for example, he plays joke openings to hide his main prep. And this will become a real rivalry here. And at this time and even before, these two were two of the best players on Internet Chess Server, which was the server that they played on before Chess.com and Lichess was programmed. Okay, enough talk. Let's look at the game. Magnus plays c4, and Nakamura surprises here with f5, and he's going for the Leningrad variation in the Dutch defense. And this line is fine if white has played d4, but I don't think it's so good if white plays like Magnus does. He plays like close Sicilian with opposite colors. Like this kind of setup, it's just hard for black wants to get some kind of play here on the king side, but it's just hard against this setup, I feel like. We will see here, because of this is quite a flexible setup for Magnus, and if Hikaru would try to play something like this, often white can play like this, and yeah, he's black. It's hard for black to create the attack, and sometimes it's dangerous for black to go on too hard, because it will also create weaknesses in his position. So let's see how the game develops. It's a little bit uncommon for white to play b3. Often they play b4 and b5, and then maybe bishop here and try for c5 or something. So this is a little bit more of a solid line. Often you want, and maybe the idea is to open for the bishop like this. But Magnus plays a little bit more solid in this game. So he's preparing to meet g5 with f4, and he's building here, but yeah, more common is to play on the b5 because it's a little bit hard to do something. But of course, now when Hikaru starts his own play in the center, then maybe it's some kind of something happens anyway here. So let's see what happens. Play like this. Now this one looks a little bit bad. Would have better to have the rooks maybe here or here. But of course, he can always move it later, so it's no big deal. And you can see the computer didn't like at all this exchange. For now, it is a more common structure in the Leningrad defense, because often white plays instead of this, white plays like d5, and then when black does e5, then he takes. But white definitely wants some tempos compared to the regular Leningrad Dutch defense lines. And as you can see, the computer did not like this change. It would have been better for black to not do this e4 shenanigans here, because yeah, only white gained from it. And there is also, like, I don't know how true that is, but there is like an old book by Dostoevsky about this kind of position that's very famous, and it's what he basically says is that these two knights guard each other, but because they are guarding each other, they don't have so many squares, so it's good if one gets traded, because yeah, he thought, at least, I don't think like modern computers agree, but he thought if two knights are guarding each other, that's a little bit of a waste, so you should trade one away. So black trades those knights that are defending each other away, something that white wants to do if Dvoretsky's theories is correct. And the computer didn't like what black did either. So okay, so Magnus is going back. Obviously you don't want to take here, because this bishop can get very, very strong then. So yeah, it's still like it's a normal position, but yeah, as you see, it's better for white. And Nakamura used to be like a very patient player online nowadays, but here it seems like he's a little bit of impatient. Let's see, the rating is 2741. He's a high rated player. So this is a bit interesting here, I think. It looks really good for black that white had to take, because there was just hard to do something here, and if something like this, yeah, maybe this is not so good, and also this is some kind of a, yeah, it apparently some tactical problems here for white. But it's interesting, this bishop is like the dominant position, and the knight on b6, often knights on b6 are always bad, is another saying. But apparently the computer liked that white traded this bishop for knight. I guess it's because he wants to win this. What if he just covers? Okay, he go here and here, and this one is unprotected. Interesting. Okay, so he did rook b1. This one was better. Okay, so he wants to do h4, h5. Look here, computer wants to do h4, h5. Queen d4, knight d4 and h4, h5, apparently. And then knight f3. Little bit hard to see what that is doing, but okay, let's continue. So Magnus played like that instead. And like why? Okay, he can't take because of here, of course. Wait a minute. Why can't he take here now? Ah, it's this tactics now. I see. And it's like he wins a rook here. Yeah, Magnus, that's why Magnus defended here, I think. So he can't take here. Okay, took. Yeah, now he can take the pawn, yeah. Okay, so he should have done d5 here, apparently. Okay, sorry, I went way too fast here. I thought about something else, sorry. I went way too fast here. Sorry, I'm going back here. So c5, he takes. Was also possible to go back with the knight, apparently. Take. And now black made a mistake. He should have played d5. This one is, of course, pinned. So he can do something like this, and he can take here, apparently. Okay, so this works tactically for white. Okay, and then he can take here. Interesting. Yeah, if he takes, then takes, and it's something will be captured here. Has to move. Okay, so this is equal pawns, quite an even position. So I guess Nakamura missed this bishop g3 tactic here. It's not obvious, even if it was a theme that we have seen before. But maybe he thought it's no hurry to play d5. Maybe he thought his position is fine here anyway. And it looks okay. Now he's actually winning back the pawn. But of course, yeah, there is some weaknesses here. Yeah, white couldn't take on b6 because this rook and winning here, of course. Okay, what happened here? Yeah, it's logical to try to win the pawn. And now he has to take, he has to take this one. Yeah, now he cannot again take because of the pin, so I have to go here. And it's possible to trade everything, which he does here. And he can take on g6. Maybe Hikaru missed that. Now he's 2 pawns up, but black has a passer. What happens if he doesn't do that, if you just go back? Okay, this is probably better. Now it's just 1 pawn. The black king is a little bit unsafe. White king is quite a much bit better, but this still, this looks a little bit better. Maybe it's just 1 pawn here. The other way it's just only 1 pawn also, but there is in my opinion there is more potential in this position for white, because if 2 pawns get traded, white might get two free passes, and that is probably winning if he might do that, especially if he can trade the queen. And the computer likes to try to trade queen here. I guess it's because he can he blockade? Okay, he has this one. That's pretty strange. Yeah, he can do this one. And now king is inside of the quadrant. Okay. He has to play this one. You need to see that takes, and here that you have this. If like black can start walking with the pawn, obviously it's not so good probably. Okay, but he did something else. h4, h5. And why didn't he take here? I guess he can check and take. So he's getting closer to his goal of trading 2 pawns and get 2 passers. Okay. What about this? Yeah, this one doesn't work either because of this. Yeah, so g4 was a threat here. There is no good solution here, so he should have not played b5. He should have done this one, and if this one, I guess he can just move the king. Yeah. Okay, so he missed quite a basic tactic here actually. Yeah? That g4 was a strong threat. Yeah. Now it's probably over. Yeah, there is just nothing to do here because he can't take this one back because it's a pin. So now he can, of course, try to trade here. Yeah, okay, so this one is obviously a winning position. Now he has 3 pawns here, not only 2, so it's definitely a winning position. Only chance for black is this, that he can get this one. So let's... Doesn't look so... when he got here with the pawn to b3, then he can pin like that. I see. That's interesting. So now he can pin like that, yeah. And this one is just a bad construction. Yeah, he can just queen the pawns. Okay, yeah, so nice endgame play by Magnus here. Okay, one more game in this tournament. It's against Nigel Short. I don't think we have seen any short game either, so that will be fun. See you then.